The corner of Hudson and Sheridan is bustling. We travel to the Devon construction site. What company officials are saying about the tower's progress. I'll walk back through 2009 with Wayne Coyne. What the Flaming Lips frontman has to say about last year. From brew to bubbly, what to know before you buy the beverages for your next party. Plus, she traveled across the Pacific to cheer in the Ford Center. What brought one Thunder Girl all the way from Japan. It's all coming up next on News OK TV.
This is News OK TV.
This is News OK TV. Welcome to News OK TV, where NewsOK.com comes to your living room television. I'm Dave Morris, and my partner in high def, Angie Bruss, is taking a little time off this week. We begin this episode at the corner of Sheridan and Hudson. That's in downtown Oklahoma City, at the side of the new Devon Tower. 180 men and women are hard at work on the Metro skyscraper. The new home for the energy company will be nearly 2 million square feet with 50 floors. The $750 million building is set to be finished by the end of 2012. And officials with Devon say they are a little ahead of schedule, despite rumors that falling oil prices will delay construction.
Well, I think we need to be careful with any bragging at this point. I think we want to be very cautious and concerned about making sure we're humble.
And you can learn more about the Devon Tower progress by watching the interviews online at NewsOK.com. Well, the Devon Tower was one of the top local stories for 2009. The Oklahoman Steve Lackmeyer talked about the energy company's new tower and other headlines from last year. It's one of my favorite places. It's the streets of Oklahoma City, and we picked a particularly great night to do this interview. Dave Morris, News OK. I'm here with one of the hardest working guys I know, Steve Lackmeyer from the business desk of the Oklahoman, also of OKC Central fame. And that's what we're going to talk about here today, Steve, is looking back at 2009 and looking ahead at 2010, the movers and shakers of the business world of Oklahoma City and growth and development. And so, from your opinion, what were some of the top storylines of 2009?
Well, obviously the recession was huge. It's been a national story. They said Oklahoma was recession-proof, especially Oklahoma City. Well, that wasn't true. It has affected downtown momentum, but it's not stopped it.
In fact, kind of highlight that. How has Oklahoma City and Oklahoma in general handled this?
Well, let's start with downtown housing. It was going at quite a clip through 2008. Certainly, it has come to a crawl. We've seen several prominent projects stopped. Especially the Hill in Deep Deuce. Construction stopped about late 2008, and it still hadn't resumed as of December. We also have seen projects that were on the boards put on hold, like the Flatiron, like the Leslie. But we've seen other projects progress, most notably this small tower project there in Sheridan, if you want to talk about that.
In fact, what Steve is talking about is from Devon, which will dramatically change our skyline, correct?
Yeah, construction is proceeding. There are some doubters who are thinking, with oil prices collapsing, it's not going to happen. It is being built, 50-story tower. It is a $750 million project. It's got a lot of construction workers downtown. It's really boosted some businesses, too. It's really quite amazing. And let's talk about 180 for just a second. There's been a lot of talk about maps. There's been a lot of talk about Quarter Shore. Project 180 is just spectacular on its own. It's $115 million being plowed back into downtown as a result of the Devon Tax Increment Finance District.
You give us some highlights on your blog every day on OKCCentral.com about this, but go into detail for the average citizen. What does this mean for them?
Well, what it means is you're going to have a spectacular downtown. You're going to have a Myriad Gardens that actually functions right. It's going to have some restaurant space, nice skating rink. It's going to have a children's play area. It's going to have an amphitheater. It's totally different. Crystal Bridge is being reglazed. But more importantly, the streets are being rebuilt. All new lighting, all new sidewalks, new street furniture. It's just going to give downtown a world-class feel. I mean, it really is going to help in our aspirations to go to becoming a Tier 2 city.
And is that the reason for the name? It's, a complete 180?
Complete 180, and it's 180 acres we're talking about. By all accounts, unprecedented. No city has done a project on this scale this rapidly. done within 4 years.
Before I ask you to break out the crystal ball for 2010, let me ask you something about this. Looking back on 2009 and with social media really coming to a forefront, are you seeing from your beat more people getting involved, more voices in the mix?
Absolutely. Urban Neighbors was started only a couple of years ago. It draws an average of 100 or more people to every social they have every month. They were very involved in getting some custom designed bike racks downtown. They've been very involved in pursuing transit for downtown. They've just been an incredible addition to the mix downtown. You're seeing more and more events at the Oklahoma City Museum of Art. The memorial is continuing to draw crowds. Just people are more involved. People are out in the streets. There's more festivities. And let's not forget some fairly new events like Dead Center Film Festival. How incredible is that? It's drawing tons of creative filmmakers to downtown. Viewings all over the place. The Ghouls Gone Wild Parade has been quite a hit.
Thousands of people showed up for that?
Yes, and it's growing every year. And I'm very disappointed that the Academy of Contemporary Music could only draw Roger Daltrey. I mean, it's only the third greatest band in rock history. Why couldn't we go for number one? I mean, it's...
Perhaps that's something to aim for in 2010. And speaking of such, what do you see on the horizon?
Well, there's some big things ahead. I think we're going to see more retail. It's been emerging in Auto Alley and in Bricktown. I'm hearing a lot of buzz about apartment activity picking back up. It's going to be very difficult with the national situation on mortgages to get for sale housing back going, but apartment development I think we're going to see more of. We're going to see some prominent new retailers come to Bricktown, the way it's looking. And most importantly, we're going to see some significant celebrations coming up. The Skirvin right behind us, they'll be preparing for their centennial. We're also likely going to see some I'm hearing buzz about a potential corporation or two moving into space that'll be freed up by Devon. We'll see if that happens, but there's rumors out there to that effect.
There you have it, people. Steve dropping some knowledge, as he does all the time in the business section of the Oklahoman. Colin comes out every Tuesday, but you can catch him around the clock at OKCCentral.com. Be sure to read his latest book. It's on the Skirvin. It came out December 2nd. So, for all things business, stay with Steve on News OK and OKCCentral.com. And that'll do it from a beautiful night overlooking the Oklahoma City skyline.
Downtown Oklahoma City didn't have much going for it in 1987 when a group of Leadership Oklahoma City alumni planned to host a big party for New Year's Eve. At the time, about 13 cities across the country were hosting arts festivities in their downtowns as a way to celebrate New Year's Eve. For that first year, opening night turned downtown Oklahoma City into a theater with individual building lobbies, store windows, street corners, and plazas functioning as stages, orchestra pits, and dressing rooms. The night was an instant hit with thousands of revelers, with festivities capped with a parade and fireworks display. More than 18,000 people attended the debut opening night. The 11 downtown restaurants that agreed to stay open that night, meanwhile, found themselves overwhelmed with business. Just a couple of years later, the crowd count was up to 40,000, and year after year, the party grew in size. The night continues to evolve each year, with new traditions including a concert by hometown musical heroes the Flaming Lips. But after more than 20 years, the night remains a celebration of the city's arts community with festivities for young and old. These images and more can be obtained at News OK.
And next week on OKC Central, we'll take a look at the upcoming Art Walk. Well, if you rang in the new year downtown, you may have been lucky enough to see the Flaming Lips New Year's Eve Freakout Part 3. The legendary band rocked the Cox Convention Center on Thursday night, and the Oklahoma's Gene Triplett sat down with the band's frontman Wayne Coyne to talk about the group's milestones in 2009.
Hi, this is Gene Triplett, entertainment editor for The Oklahoman and NewsOK.com. I'm here today talking with my friend Wayne Coyne of the Flaming Lips.
Hello, Gene. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Hello, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Yes, to you too, and to everybody out there.
Yeah, it's that time of the year again. Time to close out another year and the first decade of the 21st century. This year, and the past couple of years, Flaming Lips fame is and fan base is just in leaps and bounds.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
just, moving ahead, and I've got two examples of that.
Oh, you did?
Number one, there's a little-known Danish alternative pop group who admire you very much.
They do. Yeah.
So much so that they have named their debut album Wayne Coyne.
I know. Let it be said that this is by a group called the William Blakes. I mean,
Yes.
William Blake. I mean, for me to be associated with William Blake is already a great compliment.
Yeah.
But for them to make a record, they're called the William Blakes, and the title of their record is Wayne Coyne. And but I could see here, if you could see this, it has a picture of me placed over, when people don't know who this is, but this is William Blake.
That's
and
a
my
portrait
head has
of William
been,
Blake,
Yeah,
yeah.
my head has been sort of with not much precision there, placed over his.
It's a little bit on the crooked
And
side.
people could think, is this a solo record by Wayne Coyne? And I would say it would appear, but it's not.
Another big thing that happened this year is you put out Embryonic.
We did,
Which
yes.
is your most experimental album, I think, since Zerika.
I think it's great. You don't really know, after you make 11 or 12 records, however many we've made. We've been around 26 years. You don't really know. Are you settling into a thing that everybody knows, or is your imagination or your dreams or these your ambitions, are you still finding things? For me, I just simply tried to follow what excites me, and I think it ended up being a very energetic, kind of moody, strange record, which was really surprising as we went. And so, yeah, I think it's wonderful. Hello, everybody. I'm Wayne, and this is Stephen. This is our reading of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." We'll begin. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
Can't get enough of the Flaming Lips? Well, be sure to check out a special static edition. Wayne Coyne was in the studios recently for a special holiday performance. And coming up, the Food Dude takes us to a local tapas bar to try out their Cuban sandwich. And we'll tour a local school that educates Oklahoma City's homeless children. It's next on NewsOK TV.
I look up to you for all the things you do. I hope to be like you someday soon. 'Cause I look
Working
up to
hard for every smile. Another reason why Cox is your friend in the digital age.
NewsOK has a new mobile website, and it works with any internet-enabled cell phone. So you can take NewsOK with you anywhere. View the full articles, look at the photos, all while munching on lunch. And something I'm interested in, videos. Now you can watch NewsOK videos no matter where you roam. Smartphones, choose NewsOK Mobile.
Updated look, easy navigation, videos, NewsOK Mobile. Dial into NewsOK's award-winning content, now on your web-enabled cell phone. NewsOK, Oklahoma's website.
Hello, this is Mary. I can help you.
Hi, my grandma wants to know how to record my show.
Press the guide button on the remote.
Abuelita, toca el botón guide.
Now find your show on the screen and press record.
Ahora busca el programa en la
Pantalla.
Working hard for every smile. Another reason why Cox is your friend in the digital age.
And welcome back to NewsOK TV. Well, let's head back downtown, this time for a taste of Cuba. The food dude Dave Cathy visited Bolero to try out their Cuban sandwich.
I'm Dave Cathy, the food dude, and it's time for the sandwich of the month for December. We're here downtown in Bricktown at Bolero Tapas Bar and Spanish Grill, where they make the Cuban.
Cuban sandwich, not funny enough, not a ton is known about it. It did start in Florida. Some people argue Tampa, Miami, a lot of the immigrants, and it was based on the fact that they used to come freely before Fidel Castro and the takeover. They'd come to the United States, work, vacation, those kind of things. So it's basically a Cuban take on a ham sandwich, and it starts with a higher soda content bread that gets very crispy on the outside, very crusty, and it's a lot like a French baguette. I mean, very similar, but it's a lot larger. So when we make our Cuban sandwich, we basically go with what they call a baguette in the grocery store sometimes, and it's huge. That's incorrect, but it's perfect bread for that application. Always, no argument here. Pork shoulder and ham, and neither one are sweetened in any way or shape or form. Starts off basically with Swiss cheese and a little bit of mustard mayo, which is just mixing, whatever your favorite mayonnaise and yellow mustard. And then basically just layers of the pork shoulder, the ham, and then it's pressed and grilled. But the main idea is to get the sandwich as thin as possible so all those flavors cook together and you get a really just amazing flavor. If you don't grill it right, you don't get the sandwich. I worked at a restaurant, I'll just let the cat out of the bag, called Bolero in Miami. And I liked the name so much, and the restaurant was no longer in existence. So I was like, I love the name, but I didn't like the fact that it was just pigeonholed into just Cuban cuisine, because there's a lot of different, South American, but mostly we went with Spain on the tapas. So the tapas, meaning the small bites, we're just kind of open ourselves up to anything Latin on the menu. It's just kind of fun flavors to mess with, because it's not so much of what I was trained in French, that we go with cream and butter. We're using more olive oils and tomatoes and spices and things like that.
All right, next week we'll explore a local brewery to find out some of the secrets behind their ale. But before the food dude set his taste buds on hops and barley, he went for the bubbly. The people at Bo's Wine Bin and Spirit Shop gave Dave a few tips on how to pick out the perfect beverages for your next get-together.
The main thing is what are you going to do with it? If you're going to mix it with orange juice, make a mimosa or something like that, obviously the $10 bottle. A lot of people try to go to the less expensive than that, but I can only tell you, if it's not done with a thing called Meth Wad Champagnes, which is the secondary fermentation that does that, you tend to get headaches, and it's not quite the quality that you want. And
for more tips on champagne and sparkling wine, you can watch the full video online at newsok.com. All right, from the sparkling vino to homemade soup, our healthy cooking expert Becky Varner has a recipe that is sure to warm you up during these cold winter months. She's cooking up some black-eyed pea soup this week. It's a healthy, low-calorie meal, and looks pretty tasty. Coming up, there are hundreds of homeless families here in the metro, and there are several local charities helping adults get back on their feet. But what about the children? We'll visit a local organization that is giving Oklahoma's homeless kids a helping hand. That's next on News OK TV.
Hello, this is Mary. I can help you.
Hi, my grandma wants to know how to record my show.
Press the guide button on the remote.
Abuelita, toca el botón guide.
Now find your show on the screen and press record.
Ahora busca el programa en la
pantalla.
Working hard for every smile. Another reason why Cox is your friend in the digital age.
Welcome to the big leagues of high school sports. Varsity, News OK's new high school sports page, featuring the best high school sports coverage anywhere. Varsity dedicates experienced reporters to all the local schools from Edmond to Norman, and everyone and anyone from Goodwill to Idabel. And Varsity allows you to join the coverage. Upload your photos, join the discussion with the Oklahoma's reporters on their blogs, and follow the Twitter feed and live scoreboards. News OK's new high school sports page, Varsity, the best high school sports coverage anywhere.
News OK, Oklahoma's website.
Welcome back to News OK TV. Young kids can often take school for granted, but for those who are constantly on the move, the classroom can be a welcome break from the chaos. News OK's Tanner Harriet visited a local school that helps our city's homeless children get an education.
We are a private nonprofit here in Oklahoma City. We've actually been around for about 20 years now. Started in 1989 as a collaboration between the Oklahoma City Public Schools, Junior League, Neighborhood Services Organization, and several other organizations that all pulled together because they saw a need in Oklahoma City to help educate and help deal with some of the trauma that homeless children deal with just because of their circumstances. We see families from in the shelters. Our social workers are in close contact with the shelters and go out and visit and talk with families and talk with moms at that point in time. We also have, there's a great word of mouth process that goes on, I think, among the homeless folks. And so sometimes they just hear about us and they'll call. Someone will be new in town and they'll show up at a shelter or at West Town or one other place like that, and then they can identify the fact that we're here to help serve them. The children that we serve come from a variety of situations. About half of our children are living in one of the homeless shelters here in Oklahoma City. We serve children from City Rescue Mission, children from the Salvation Army, children from Passageways, which is a domestic violence shelter that the YWCA operates. So that counts for about half of our children. The other half of our kids are what we'd call couch homeless. These are children whose families are really in transition because they're just staying somewhere. They're staying with relatives or they're staying with a friend until their welcome wears out, and then they move, they go stay with somebody else. And it's those kids, the kids that are couch homeless, that are the ones who are really most at risk because their lives are very chaotic. Currently, we do not receive any government funding of any kind, and we need to raise about $750,000 a year to keep things going. And the community has really helped us out. They've been so gracious in the way that they've helped provide for the needs of homeless children through our work. And we get all of our funding actually comes from private donations one way or another.
To learn more about Positive Tomorrows and how you can help, you can visit their website, positivetomorrows.org. All right, when we come back, she crossed an ocean to cheer for Oklahoma City's NBA team. We get to know a Thunder girl who traveled from Japan to be a member of the Spirit Squad. That's next.
News OK, Oklahoma's website.
Dave, it is game time.
Angie, News OK is covering OU and OSU football from all the angles.
With photos, videos, live chats, blogs, and text alerts.
From coaches, players, predictions, and analysis.
With the most sports reporters covering the games.
So you'll never miss a thing.
Stay with News OK for your team's latest news.
Powered by the Oklahoman. News OK, Oklahoma's website.
I look up to you for all the things you do. I hope to be like you someday soon.
Working hard for every smile. Another reason why Cox is your friend in the digital age.
News OK has a new mobile website, and it works with any internet-enabled cell phone. So you can take News OK with you anywhere. View the full articles, look at the photos, all while munching on lunch. And something I'm interested in, videos. Now you can watch News OK videos no matter where you roam. Smartphones, choose News OK Mobile.
Updated look, easy navigation, videos, News OK Mobile. Dial into News OK's award-winning content, now on your web-enabled cell phone. News OK, Oklahoma's website.
Welcome back to News OK TV. Angie Bruss and video journalist Kyle Roberts have been following the Thunder Girls for over a year. From auditions to halftime performances, they've gotten to know many of the girls. And they formed a new friendship with one of the girls who crossed the Pacific to cheer on the Oklahoma City Thunder.
It's time to Thunder Up. Some of the crew is back.
Others are brand new.
We're pumped up and ready to make this season even better. We are your 2009-2010
know, every year the Thunder Girls have a new crew. Well, this year they have an international member. She's from Japan and doesn't speak fluent English. Now we're going to take you to meet her. Tell us where you're from.
サンダーチームに来た初めての人ですけれども、まずは、一番最初の質問としてどこから来ましたか。
はい、日本の東京から来ました。
She's from Tokyo, Japan.
And yeah, how did she hear about the Thunder Girls?
NBA にチャレンジしようと
She
思って。
thought that she tried to dancing in somewhere in an NBA team. Then she checked all videos, the all internet. You know, Oklahoma City Thunder girl dancing is really attractive for her. So then she decided to come down here.
興味を持ちました。
Has she been dancing all her life?
というかチアリーディングを高校から
She started dancing since high school. She has been dancing in the Japanese basketball team and the Japanese football team. And also she was an instructor in Japan. And she's teaching dancing for the kids.
してきた経験もあります。
You know, having someone from Japan, it's been a new experience for the girls out here. When I danced in the NFL, we had 2 girls from Japan, and it was amazing because I carpooled with them. I learned a lot about their culture, and it really gives you an appreciation for what dance team is and what an NBA dance team is and how it appeals not just only here in Oklahoma City or in the United States, but it's worldwide.
And tell us about, if she can, how the practices are going. Is it hard having that language barrier?
本当はもっとコミュニケーションを取りた
She
い。
has a really having hard time with the team because she cannot speak English at all. And to be honest, she wants to really talk with the girls, but all teammates is really friendly, so kind. This support is really helpful for her.
You know, sometimes it's difficult. I think with dance, you're looking at it's words with your body, so that's not too bad. With other things like her understanding transportation or going to appearances, sometimes things get lost in translation, but you just have to take it really, really slow with her. Luckily, she has this little device that translates words, and so it takes a little bit of time, but everyone's been patient, and I've been patient, and she's been patient too, so it's all working out.
Is it a dream come true? It's got to be exciting, but is it a dream come true to be dancing here?
そうですね。まず
Yes, you know, this is a dream come true. But it's the next step. She's already looking for the next step. She wants to be a dance manager in Japan, so she wants to transfer what she learned in here to Japan. So that's her next dream.
The girls have been great. They've embraced her. She's actually going to be living with LT, one of the girls from the dance team. So I think it's wonderful having her spirit.
That's all the time we have this week on NewsOK TV, but you can watch all these videos and plenty more on newsok.com. And we'll have another round of videos for you next week.